PN configuration spoke to spoke, where let's say if any other spoke is added into this particular topology, the existing network does not need to add anything else, and the resolution about the NBMA or physical IP address of another or newly registered spoke will be available onto the hub. Okay, so once every spoke is registered with the hub, if any spoke wants to communicate with any another spoke, will ask NHRP query to the hub, and hub will provide the NBMA address and the tunnel IP address to the spoke of the other spoke. Okay, so I have deleted the configuration. The topology looks like same as yesterday only, but I have deleted the configuration. So we will quickly configure the yesterday's configuration, then we will modify how exactly this multi-point or spoke-to-spoke configuration looks like. So at hub side, I did not remove anything actually. So run interface tunnel 10. It is same as yesterday's one. We have assigned the IP address. We have said that multicast should be sent dynamically. Whenever any spoke is being discovered or whenever any spoke is being registered with me, I will send the multicast to him. Why multicast? Because if you don't want to run the routing protocol, then you don't require this multicast dynamic command. Okay. Then the network ID of NHRP and this no split horizon EAGRP10 that you know already. If anything is coming, any network update is coming on the same interface, EAGRP says that routing protocol will not send back the same update onto the same interface. But if this router does not send the same routing update onto the same interface, another spoke will not be able to get this update. That's why we had to disable that feature. Tunnel source, and we say that it is MGRE, multi-point GRE, not the static GRE. So at the upside, I am not configuring anything else. Let's see, do we have anything crypto related configuration? No. So first we will see the just plain GRE or multi-point GRE behavior. Once it is done, the securing GRE is not a big deal. Just you have to create the ISACM profile. That's it. Sorry, not ISACM profile. ISACM policy and IPsec profile, and you apply this protection under the tunnel. So everything has been secured. Now, so at hub side I am not making any changes. At spoke side, I have deleted the tunnel interface as well from yesterday's topology. So IP interface brief, I don't have any tunnel interface. Okay, so let's get started with the configuration about the tunnel interface. Interface tunnel 10. What are the things do I have to configure on this spoke side? Tunnel source FA0/0, IP address 192.168.1.4, not 11 or 22. No, destination here. Now we are not going to configure the destination. Now IP NHRP network ID. What was the network ID? 10, right? IP NHRP map multicast. What should I type over here? Not dynamic. Again, multicast will still we are sending, or we are saying that you are the responsible guy to provide me the routing updates. To whom? To our server, to hub. So hub is actually the central point who is providing the NHRP resolution and the multicast or the routing updates. 11.1.1.3. Okay. IP NHRP map 192.168.1.3 is located over the 11.1.1.3. IP NHRP NHS 192.168.1.3. Right? Now we did not execute this command and we don't even need it. The reason is very simple. If we say the tunnel destination is over this interface, okay, if this guy wants to communicate with him, there is no way that he can build the tunnel via R6 and he can bypass the R3. It's not possible if you configure the static GRE. So here also at the spoke side also we are going to say that it is multi-point GRE. Okay, but at the time of the configuration of R4, let's say tunnel mode GRE multi-point. As of now, if you see, it is not being registered. Now actually it is being registered. Yeah. Now it is registered with the hub. Okay. But if you don't specify this multi-point behavior and still you have the routing updates, right, that R5 is not been actually configured, that's why you are not getting the routing updates of R5. R5 is plain. But what my point was over here, if you don't specify this one, it will never register. Either you configure this tunnel interface as a static, or you say it by default. If you don't specify this command, it is taking as a static only, and hence you have to specify the destination. But if you are planning to have it multi-point behavior, multi-point GRE behavior, then you have to execute this command. Now why here this GRE multi-point? Because R4, he doesn't know that with whom he is going to build the tunnel. One thing is sure, that he is going to register with R3, so there is one tunnel, that is for sure. But in future, let's say one day on Friday or Thursday, every Thursday he wants to communicate with any other branch. Okay, and that tunnel should not be required, or that kind of communication should not require additional configuration. It should be automated. So on that particular time, R4 will say that, okay, can you just give me the NBMA address of so and so branch, so and so tunnel, or so and so routing information, because routing information will always be propagated among the spokes because of the, you said that IP NHRP multicast and 11.11.11.1.1.3 means if you have any multicast, you will send it to hub. If hub have any multicast, since you have configured on the hub side that dynamic, so whosoever is registered with him, he will get all the routing updates which is being participated, which is being configured under the tunnel network. Okay, interface tunnel network. So now let's configure the same thing on R5. Interface tunnel 10, tunnel source FA0/0, tunnel mode GRE multi-point, IP NHRP network ID 10, IP NHRP multicast, (11.1.1.3), IP NHRP map 192.168.1.3, 11.1.1.3, IP NHRP NHS 192.168.1.3. Are we missing anything else? Are we missing anything else? Concentrate here, guys. That is hub. This is that no split horizon we have supposed to configure on a hub, not on the spoke. No. Yes, exactly. Because see the first thing, you read everything, you will come to know that IP address 192.168.1.5. Right? See, the moment everything is configured, the EAGRP neighborship is come up. Because I have already configured the EAGRP yesterday's practical. I did not remove this one, I just removed the tunnel interface. Okay. So now, see, so IP NHRP brief. You should have only one NHRP map. This is called the NHRP mapping. Okay. And definitely you will be having one at any spokes, every spoke side you will be having one. Why? Because you know about your server, that is called a static configuration of NHRP. But, and that's why you are seeing over here, see static. Manually you have mapped it. When you said that IP NHRP NSS and IP NHRP map 192.168.1.3 and it is located over the 11.1.1.3. So that is static only. But let's go to R3 and check it. How many people are there in NHRP database? You have two, right? Two spokes have already registered with you. What are those? Sorry? These two are learned dynamically, right? Actually this is supposed to be not there. Yeah, I think router EAGRP10. Okay, see, you are getting the updates of R4 and R5, means one spoke and another spoke, right? Now let's go to any of the spoke. You will not be able to see other spoke routes. Is there? I think we have disabled. So no split. Oh, yeah. At R3, we did not make any changes, right? So we have disabled already the no split horizon. See, because of this command, you are getting the updates. Because of this command, no IP split horizon EAGRP10. So you are getting the updates at both the sides, right? Now let's say at any of the spoke from R4, you want to reach to the another spoke network. This is 5.5.5.5. Reachable via whom? 192.168.1.3, which is reachable via your tunnel 10, right? So traffic is routed via tunnel 10. It is going to the 11.1.1.3. Now let's say ping 11. Before this one, check it. We have only one NHRP map, right? As I explained that NHRP is giving you the information about the NBMA network and the tunnel network. So let's see. You are trying to reach to the another network, another hub, another spoke. You are able to reach it. Now see. It has given you the resolution of how to reach 5.5.5.5. Okay. So when you issued the command ping 5.5.5.5, that request along with the first echo, that request went to this guy. When you said that 5.5.5.5, okay, so he sent the echo message at the same time. He also sent the NHRP query. He said that who is 5.5.5, please provide me the resolution. So provide me the resolution means provide me the NBMA address and tunnel IP address. If I have the reachability to that NBMA address means this one. If I have reachability to reach 22.1.1.4, I will not bother you, I will bypass you. Okay. Then R3 at the same time is giving you the NHRP response to him. At the same time, the first echo message is taking the responsibility and is sending to the destination. Okay. Sorry?
22 is one address, one public address. R4.
Yeah, sorry, this one. I was taking the wrong example. Because 5.5.5 is located over the 192.168.1.5, right?
Yeah.
That's why. This we have to configure.
So why then the NP code is own address?
See, this one
Yes,
is your map, right? This one, when you registered with the hub will be having the NHRP, right? So he is saying this is your map and this is where you want to reach. Two map. This is your mapping. This is your destination mapping. Means this is your source mapping. This is your destination mapping, and this is the guy with whom you have registered. Got it? So now if you have, let's say, another spoke added into it, another spoke added into this topology, so you will not get two time this mapping. This mapping you will not get two time, or this mapping you will not get two time. You will just get one time only, and that too additional one. Okay. So we were talking about the rogue IP addresses. This one actually we had to take into the consideration. Now the moment you said that, or the moment you issued the command ping 5.5.5.5, the request went to the hub, and hub is saying that okay, I have the information about 5.5.5, I will forward your request, but you take the NBMA mapping and you take this IP address 33.1.1.5. If you have the reachability, you take your own way. Okay, so I am giving you the way, or I am giving you the opportunity to take the shortcut, and hence he is also offloading him. But still, you have this mapping, you have the IP addressing reachability. Let's say ping 30.1.1.5, you have a reachability, right? So it should take the 33.1.1.51, means it should take this path, R4, R6, like this one, right? If you have the public IP reachability, why does it need to go via R3, right? But still it is not going. Let's say ping 5.5.5.5, right? Now how to check that which path he is taking? Trace route 5.5.5.5. See, it is going via 1.3. The moment you issued the command trace route 5.5.5.5, trace route will show you the path the packet is taking. Now see the path. It is going via 192.168.1.3 and reaching to 192.168.1.5. It is your local router, and that's where 5.5.5 located. But we are not expecting this one, right? What we are expecting? We are saying that it should directly go and it should show the next hop address is 192.168.1.5. Not the, because you have the reachability or you have the map of 192.168.1.5, then why still he is going over this one? The reason is because of the EIGRP. When EIGRP is sending any update, he is saying that you take my next hop as you take your next hop address as me. Okay, so that again you have to disable onto the physical interface of hub on R3. Interface FA0/0, not tunnel interface, okay? Because at hub side also and at spoke side also, multicast is being dealt with the physical IP address, not with the tunnel IP address. So you have to say that whenever this is EIGRP's property, like how you are having the how you are having this split horizon property, in the similar way this next hop self is the property of EIGRP, or in other word, that is hop count protocol. What are these two type of link state and all the distance vector protocol is having the property that whenever I am sending any update to my network, I will tell that guy, you take me as your next hop you take me as your next hop address. So that's why when R4 is sending any update to R3, when that update is being propagated on the same link and being reached to the R5, he is being told, R5 is being told that okay, if you want to reach to R4, you take me, means R3, as your next hop address. So that property we have to disable. Yeah.
Sir, can you show me the trace route
now? Yeah, obviously. Now, otherwise, how can we come to know that whether this one is right or wrong? Still will take some time. Let's say clear IP EIGRP. Let's say I'll aggressively clear this process on hub only. So it will clear both the one, right? Okay. You have both the networks, right? So IP NHRP brief. Let's clear this one. See, that was static and this one is dynamic. Okay. Let's clear out both. this is your another spoke network, right? So IP NHRP brief. Are we pinging to the right address? It is supposed to show here the two maps. When we ping tunnel interface, it is resolving the query, but internal network is not resolving.
So actually it is taking only the EIGRP, no?
Sorry?
EIGRP. So that only that is you are able to ping because they are sharing the network. Once you go to the tunnel interface, it is resolving NVA.
No, actually 5.5.5.5 is reachable via 192.168.1.3. So it should tell you the resolution or NHRP resolution back to another spoke. So previously we saw just a moment ago, right? Let's re-register it. Shut down the tunnel interface and re-register it. R4 and R5. Interface tunnel. Shut down.
Sir, if you ping taking the sources 4.4.4 when
Sorry? Sorry?
pinging with this source, you are getting destination 5.5.5.5 and taking source as 4.4.4.4.
No, anyway, whenever you are try to ping any network which is reachable via tunnel interface, it is your local communication only, local to local communication. You are not pinging any NBMA address. You are pinging, you are trying to reach to the local network only. Tunnel interface is also local private network, whereas 5.5.5 is also your local network.
You are pinging is taking the local
192.168.1.4.
tunnel IP.
Yeah.
So by default it take local IP.
Yes.
If we mention the source,
Then it will take the
only
source.
it will change.
Yeah. Actually, we were modifying all this configuration at the same time. It was already registered. So what I did is I shut down and again no shutdown. So it will start the new process and re-register it. See, the moment you try to reach to the another network, it is providing you the 2 resolution, right? And since you have disabled this on your hub, so run interface FA0/0, that EIGRP10 next of self property you should disable, means wherever the network is being advertised in this, by disabling this property, what will happen is, let's say if R4 is advertising 4.4.4.4 in EIGRP and it is reachable via 192.168.1.4, right? So wherever this 4.4.4 is propagated by R3, the next hop address will be given as 192.168.1.4 and not 192.168.1.3. The hop will not be there, but the original hop address will be there. Now let's try to trace route again. 5.5.5.5. Still it is going via this one. I think we have to disable this next hop address at both the side, tunnel interface and this one. Yes, now definitely it will work. See, you have to disable this nature, tunnel interface and physical interface both for EIGRP10 process. Now 5.5.5.5 is reachable via 192.168.1.5, and that is the map you got from your NHRP resolution. Okay. So once you have any packet, let's say the same topology, okay, up to whatever extent you have understood. Now let me add over here one more router, and we will see that we will only configure this spoke configuration, okay, and we will try to reach to R4 or R5. It will probably give you the more better understanding. Let me pause this video and add this one more router, and again I will resume it. So I have added one more spoke over here. So the spoke is 3, and if you want to add one private network over here, you can add the private network, but we are not going to add it. Our main purpose is to check that in existing topology, if new spoke is coming and if he tries to communicate with another spoke, how exactly the communication is being working in the spoke to spoke configuration. In spoke or in hub to spoke configuration, as you know that everything is flowing through via hub, no matter whether the communication is spoke to hub or spoke to spoke, everything is via hub. But in spoke to spoke, hub is providing the enough information to the desired spoke, so he can directly communicate with the another spoke and bypass the hub. On R7, I have assigned the IP address from 50.1.1.0 network. Let me try to put it. Okay. So IP interface brief 50.1.1.7 I have assigned to FA0/0. And I have advertised this 50 network into the OSPF process 1. So now is also a part of the OSPF internet OSPF network. Okay. So he should be having all the reachability, or he should be having the public IP reachability of all the spoke and hubs, right? That he has. Let's check it. He knows 33 network, 22 network, 11 network and 50 network is its own. But he does not have any kind of the private IP addressing or private network information. So what he has to do, see, I am not configuring anything, or I am not making any changes to the any hub or any spoke. Okay. The moment you configure this newly added spoke according to the existing topology, he will be able to and he will be ready to communicate with the rest of the network. Okay. So let's see. What you have to configure is interface tunnel, tunnel mode GRE, multi-point, tunnel source FA0/0. Give the IP address 192.168.1.7. It should be in the same network, right? Okay. IP NHRP map multicast 11.1.1.3. IP NHRP map 192.168.1.3, because 192.168.1.3 is your hub. And you have to know that whenever you want to be a part of the DMVPN network or NHRP network, first you have to register with the authority, and authority is hub. Now you define the NHS 192.168.1.3 IP NHRP network ID 10. Are we missing anything into it? No, right? Do so IP NHRP brief. If you get this output, means you have successfully registered. If not, then you will not get the this mapping. Okay, but you don't have the network information. See, the reason is very simple, because we are not running any routing protocol. We are not being participated into the AIGRP domain. So let's being participate with the router AIGRP 10 network 192.168.1.0. No auto summary. So IP EIGRP neighbor. See, you have the neighborship with 192.168.1.3. You'll never become a neighbor with another spoke. Okay, because you know that spoke is not going to be there all the time, but hub is someone who will always be there for any spoke. So which neighborship is more crucial or required is with the hub, not with the spoke to spoke. But hub is providing you the resolution of another spoke. So when you have the communication, you can ask to the hub that, okay, you give me the NBMA address of this particular spoke, so I can use that public IP address and do my communication. Once I am done, I can remove this NHRP entry. Now still, you should not be having more than one NHRP entry. At the same time, you should be having all the routing information. See, 5 network, 4 network, 3 probably, yeah, see, right? Now let's try to ping 5.5.5.5, which is the private network of another spoke, right? So IP NHRP network, NHRP brief, right? Now let's try to ping 4.4.4.4. See the resolution. Do you have 2 entry for your 7? Right? You only added one more entry into it. 4.4.4.4 is reachable via 22.1.1.4. So no matter how spoke has been added now, and if you trace route it, you will be having directly reachability. See, 192.168.1.4. It is not going via 1.3, because you have configured properly over there. Split horizon is disabled. You said that no IP next of self. So it is giving you the resolution. Once you have the resolution, you don't have to follow the EIGRP decision. Let's trace route to 5. You will directly get 1.5. See. So first packet will go when you issue the ping. That time the first packet will go to the R3. But when R3 is sending the packet to the destination, at the same time he is also sending you the resolution. That okay, you take this IP address. If you have the reachability to the public address, don't send your packet to me, because your packet may reach to the destination very fast and very short way. At the same time, hub is also offloading his own work. Now, this is called the hub. Actually, spoke to spoke configuration.
This entry will be there for the time being.
Sorry?
For the certain time being.
NHRP? Yeah. The default timing, I actually don't remember it, but it has like 1 hour or something around this one. Okay. If you don't have the communication. If you have the communication, it will not last. If you don't have idle time, is something, some time is there, that you will find that 12.4 iOS security guide. Now it is plain only. If you want to check over here, you can capture the packet and you can see here NHRP request or NHRP query. The reply will be NHRP reply. So if I show you every single thing, that I know that nobody is going to do it. Anyway, it's up to you that how you elaborate onto this one. I showed you the way. Now let's say it is just the plain one. I did not implement ISACMP or IPsec into it. Now very simple. You create the policy, create the IPsec transform set, create the profile, apply under the tunnel interface, and done. All 3 or all 4. Let's say we will create in upside and then we will paste it. crypto ISACM policy, authentication pre-share, group 2, hash MD5, encryption 3 days, crypto ISACM key, Cisco 123, address 0.0.0.0, right? Crypto IPsec transform set, DMVPN, ESP 3 days, ESP MD5, crypto IPsec profile, DMVPN, set transform set, DMVPN, interface tunnel 10, tunnel protection, IPsec profile, DMVPN. Now your neighborship will be broken. See, yeah, he is expecting to get all the encrypted packet on that particular tunnel interface, but doesn't matter. We are going to configure it set other side as well. Let's just copy all this thing.
This can be a DMVPN tunnel interface.
Sorry,
DMVPN tunnel interface.
2 DMVPN in.
Tunnel interface.
You have to create 2 tunnel. No? If you want to have the 2 networks, definitely can you assign more than one network or more than one IP address onto the one interface?
That's possible.
How?
Is that possible?
No. What I am saying is this very logical thing. Can we assign? Yeah, on one device you can have more than one network, but on one interface you cannot have it.
Yeah, I'm saying that we can create multiple interfaces wherein we can create multiple DMVPN.
Yeah, it is possible. Let's say this is one network as of now. Now from over here, one more interface is there and one more network is there complete. It can be another network. Tunnel interface 11. It is into the 172.1. some network or 192.168.3. something network. It is different network. So you can have on one device you can have more than one DMVPN, but on one interface, on one tunnel interface, it is not possible, right? Now let's modify some other. Yeah, do we have to modify anything into these settings? No. That's why I implement this solution. Otherwise I can say that I could have said that okay, you just configure it, because rest of the thing you know it. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is this one, because let's say when you register with hub, you are giving the IP address of hub, because that time you are 100% sure that every communication, whatever communication my network is going to be participated into, that will be to the hub or through the hub. So you needed only one ISACM tunnel or IPsec tunnel. But now spoke to spoke says that if this hub is providing you the resolution of the NBMA address or another spoke, now you should build the direct tunnel with him and not with me. If you have the spoke to spoke communication, the tunnel should be built between spoke to spoke and not to hub to spoke. If let's say ISACM tunnel and IPsec tunnel is built between hub and spoke, how will the communication be bypass the hub? Our main scenario or main concentration over here is to bypass the hub, right? If you build the tunnel with R3, so only registration time you need that tunnel. So that tunnel is there only. R7 or let's say any R4 to 3 or R5 to 3. That tunnel is required, because when you register it, you require ISACM tunnel and IPsec tunnel to run the routing protocol and all. But once you have the communication between spoke to spoke, that tunnel is not required actually. That tunnel which you have built for the hub and spoke communication, that tunnel will not take that spoke to spoke communication. But rather R4 and R5 will build the direct tunnel between them. That will be via R6. Or let's say R7 and R5, they will build the tunnel between them via R6. Okay. So that's why you have to give this IP address 0.0.0.0, because you never know that what is the NBMA address of your next hop address, of your next spoke address, right? It is dynamic. So you just have to copy the complete configuration and paste it to all the hub, all the spoke. Interface tunnel 10, it's a tunnel only, right? 10 only, right? Yeah. Tunnel protection DMVPN. tunnel protection, IPsec, IP profile, DMVPN, and you will see the tunnel or the neighborship will come up. See, right? We will check. Just let me configure all. Then so only one host is left, right? 5. Five is not working. Let it be. We have two hosts. We have two spoke to test, and hub is also there, so it's okay even if one spoke is not working. See on R4, the moment you applied over here, this is spoke, right? Check the ISACM tunnel. So crypto ISACM PSA. You are this one, right? You initiated this tunnel. Did we use any pinging with him? Then you might be having so IP NHRP brief. If this interface, yeah, the moment you have this resolution, he'll build the tunnel with whatever the result or whatever the map NHRP network you have, with whom he'll build the tunnel. Let's say if you create this one, clear IP NHRP, or we'll do one thing, we'll shut down the tunnel interface, so everything is gone. Fresh restart. Interface tunnel 10. And when you are doing this practical, make sure that what you are doing is you are understanding. This is very confusing thing. It's not like just you configure and you get the result. Even if you see this video and if you try to configure, you will not get the same result if you are not following the procedure. Now you should be having only one tunnel hub, and that too with the hub, not with anyone else. This is your destination hub, right? Do you have any tunnel else? Because this just now we have cleared, so it is not cleared out yet. It will clear out soon. At another spoke you see. So crypto ISACM PSA, you should be having only one, and that too with the hub only, not with anyone else. Now if you want to try to reach to any other spoke, it will automatically build the tunnel with him, tunnel with another spoke, not with the hub. And hub is already there, the tunnel with the hub is already there, and that you have to maintain, because you have to get the multicast, or you have to get the routing updates from the hub, you have to get the mapping of NHRP from the hub. So that tunnel is required, but that tunnel will not be used for use data traffic or use data encryption, data traffic encryption or decryption. Actual data traffic encryption and decryption will happen over the actual tunnel. Actual tunnel means from one spoke to another spoke, real destination to the real source. See, now it's edged out, right? Only one. Now let's say, so IP route, you have the network reachability of, actually R7 is not advertising any private network, right? So here we should check. It is advertising 4.4.4.4, and so IP NHRP brief, it does not have any more than one mapping. Now let's ping 5.5.5.5, or before this one, if you have to check, only one tunnel is there, one mapping, one tunnel. Now ping 5.5.5.5, you are trying to reach to the another spoke private network, so the NHRP will be resolved, and once it has been resolved, sorry, yeah, 4 actually, sorry. So crypto ISACM पैसे because 5 is already, I think it should not be there 5, right?
Center data is that's why it's relevant.
Yeah. Previously it was there, and still that router, another spoke 5.5.5.5 is not working, is not responding. That's why otherwise we could have configured this protection. But anyway, our main concentration was this one. This tunnel was already there, right?
Yes, sir.
This tunnel, actually it has built 2 tunnel.
It was stated now.
Okay, now no more tunnel, only one, right? At the same time, let's clear out the NHRP as well. Four, right? That was our initial, right? So crypto ISACM पैसे, only one tunnel, right? Now let's try to ping 4.4.4.4. And you will be having the direct tunnel with your 22.1.1.4. Actually both are initiating the tunnel. See, this source and destination is not actual source and destination. Source means who has initiated the tunnel, destination means with whom. So actually it is one only. It is displaying because of the NHRP mapping. Okay, otherwise it is tunnel 1 only. It is not 2 separate tunnel. See the source and destination. So in DMVPN, actually the benefit of the most, or let's say why DMVPN has been developed, the reason was very simple. If newly discovered site has been there, if he wants to be participated into the private network or secure network, the rest of the existing configuration should not be affected. The moment you configure the newly discovered site, everything should be working fine and it should be ready to mingle with the existing network. That is the main purpose. Now how you do it, that is the configuration. Alright.